It's a beautiful day, and with so much delight, I welcome you to another interesting episode of Talk Health on Benue Television. Many apologies for starting the show behind schedule. Um, it won't happen again, but good to have you on this special day, and we'll bring to you something that has been on the rise. Yes, research from the World Health Organization shows that lung cancer is the second most common cancer around the world, occurring in men, although over the years there's been a decline, and then it's happening more in women. That is more prevalent in women. Today we'll talk about it in depth, as we have a professional here. He's from the Department of Anatomical and Forensic Pathology with the Benue State University Teaching Hospital. He's none other but Dr. Moses Agwa. He's also the chairman committee for cancer care. That is the Nigerian Medical Association. Yes, he's the chairman for that committee. So we'll meet him after this time out. My name is Iwange Baja. Don't go anywhere. It's good to have you back. If you're just joining us, it is Talk Health on Benue Television. Yes, your favorite health show on the block, where we bring to you all the health issues relating to your health and try to provide solutions to same. Today, as I said earlier, I'll taking a look at lung cancer. Yes, one of the reasons why it is because globally this week we're looking at concerns arising from cancer of the lungs. What are the causes of these? Can it be prevented? Is it curable, or it is a death sentence? And the way forward. These and many more. And also in the course of the program, we'll bring you health tips just before we call it a wrap. Once again, my name is Iwange Baja, and today something big is going to happen on the show. We're going to have a phone-in session as the program progresses, and the number to call at that time will be 0813 2009411. Again, the number to call will be 0813 2009411. As the discussion progresses, you'd also have an opportunity to call in and let your voice heard, get your health concerns out, let the doctor know how you feel or what you think, and then get answers directly from the doctor. Dr. Moses, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Iwange Baja, right?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Okay, good. So we're taking a look at concerns around lung cancer. Not a lot of people are aware about this disease. They know of cervical cancer, prostate cancer, and others. What exactly is cancer of the lungs?
Well, thank you very much. I like your introduction.
Okay.
Because it has taken a direction towards what I want to explain in the course of the discussion.
Great.
You have said a lot of people don't know about lung cancer, about breast cancer, cervical cancer, prostate cancer. Yet again, you said in your introduction that
It's
it
the
is the
second most common.
If
Yes.
it's the second most common, why then a lot
They
of
don't
people
know about it.
And so we'll get to talk about these things.
Great, great.
However, your direct question is what is lung cancer?
Yeah.
Well, cancer is one by definition. Just a difference of location is why we will call it lung cancer. But cancer has a single definition. You know, cells usually divide, but they divide in a controlled fashion. That's the normal growth. By conception, when an ovum is fertilized by a sperm cell, what makes it a human that you and I are sitting here is cell division. But it divides in a controlled and regulated manner. So in an adult or a child, when cells of the body begin to divide in an uncontrolled, unregulated, disorderly manner, it is called cancer. And when they do so, they acquire capacity to grow beyond the limits of their extent. You see skin cells begin to grow down into bone, or even grow far away into lymph nodes, or grow far away into the lungs, or into the liver, and we say the cancer has spread. So cancer, in simple terms, is that capacity or that process by which cells divide uncontrollably, disorderly, in a disorderly and dysregulated manner. That is cancer.
In the lungs.
I said it can occur
Anywhere.
So when you say cancer of the lungs, it means the cells of the lung tissue have begun to divide in a dysregulated, uncontrollable manner. So it is now called lung cancer.
Now, who is more at risk of coming down with lung cancer?
Who is more at risk? Those are risk factors you're asking.
Yes.
Yeah, the most important risk factor for lung cancer is smoking. Cancer is almost directly associated with smoking.
Now, a lot of people, I don't want to be Joe-centric here, or saying people from the north, or calling, but lately you see a lot of young people engaging in this, and when you try to talk with them, yes, they shy away. Some of them say it doesn't kill because they are actually older ones who have
been
not
smoking,
exactly,
or have not come down with
exactly
cancer.
Now let us know, give us professionally.
Well, yes, generally, cancer, I'm glad you started with who is at risk.
Yes.
Because cancer, only very few cancers have specifically known causes. We talk about mostly risk factors, which that is because you will see the same risk factors. 10 people are exposed to the same risk factors. Only about 2 or 3 may come down with that cancer. And this is because it is usually a combination of factors, ranging from genetic, environmental factors, like exposure to chemicals, exposure to radiation, exposure to chemicals. I said chemicals, I said radiation, certain drugs, and then when they combine with your genetic predisposition, then the amount of exposure as well determines, So for lung cancer also, when we say it is caused mostly, or the most important risk factor is smoking. That is why you see 100 men or women who smoke, only a small percentage will have come down with lung cancer. However, for those who want to doubt, studies have shown that in populations that smoke extensively, we see more of them coming down with cancer. That's why you even quoted that it has been observed that outside the shores of Nigeria, in the Western world, you it's been studied and observed that men are reducing their rate of smoking, while women are seen to be smoking more. And then the reverse has become the case in the long run, that in the Western world, more women are coming down with lung cancer than men, because more of them are smoking than men.
Now,
So-
let's take a look at this. Can non-smokers, yes, apart from smoking, can non-smokers or people who were known for smoking, like they used to smoke, can those kind of people actually come down with lung cancer?
First of all, yeah, non-smokers can come down with lung cancer, because it is not only smoking that is a trigger. There is also, I said, underlying is genetic predisposition. You know, these factors we are mentioning, they only thrive on the genetic predisposition. But the one who is genetically predisposed, in the absence of these triggers, will also not come down with lung cancer. So yes, non-smokers can come down with lung cancer, but in a smaller proportion. If you have 1,000 non-smokers, you may have just two, in fact about 2% of or just two of them coming down with lung cancer. But when you have in 1,000, you now study 1,000 people who smoke, you may have up to 50 or 30 who will come down with lung cancer.
Let's look at this. There's something that has been happening lately. This issue of cardiac arrest. Is there a thin lining between cardiac arrest and cancer of the lungs, or vice versa? Or
Thin
they are
lining,
just two
Cardiac arrest.
different things? Yes.
Clearly speaking, there are two different things, poles apart. Well, if you talk about where the heart will be related in a way to lung cancer, will be the impact of the cancer of the lung on the heart. When there is cancer of the lungs, there is difficulty in breathing. Lung perfusion, that's the blood circulation. The heart pumps blood into the heart. These processes will be compromised. So the efficiency with which the heart was pumping blood into the lung, and the lung oxygenating the blood and returning it back to the heart, will be compromised. So there can be heart failure, not even cardiac arrest first. There can be heart failure because of the compromise in the lungs. Then in the long run, you can now have cardiac arrest in the process of dying. That's at the end stage. So to be straight about it, there's no lung cancer and cardiac arrest are different diseases altogether.
Okay.
But the disease of the lung, like lung cancer, can lead to heart failure. This mechanical process.
It's been beautiful talking with you.
Thank you.
I said before we commenced full discussion, he is from the Department of Anatomical and Forensic Pathology. I actually like that part of science where you get to look at some things critically, and you actually tell us a bit about that as the show progresses. It is still Talk Health on Benue Television, and we're taking a look at cancer of the lungs. That is what is being discussed globally this week on the Global Health Calendar. So it's beautiful we're actually talking about it here in Benue, because what happens elsewhere in health can actually be happening here. We'll still look at that as the program continues. You can actually follow us on all our social media platforms at benuetv.ng. And the phone lines will be open soon. You can call in, let us know what you think about the topic, let us know how you feel. Have you been smoking? Have you stopped smoking? Do you know anyone who smokes? Do you know other things relating to lung cancer? Have you been cured from it? The number to call will be 0813 200 9411. Again, the number to call will be 0813 200 9411. We'll take a quick break. When we return, Talk Health continues. Don't go anywhere. good to know you're still there. And welcome back. If you're just joining us, it is Talk Health on Benue Television. And today we've been taking a look at cancer of the lungs. Quickly, I'll show you a little clip of some people who actually were smokers. As we heard from the doctor, he said lung cancer, one of the risk factors of lung cancer is smoking. Just hear the opinion of these two people.
Mulu doctor man for your farm make a cool kind of it or you are hanging. Mosanga. That time again, Mata new Dilmon was a you are hanga. Mosanga. So now more make a poor one of it or you are hanging. Around Jam when we
but we for town man. Where you do Matave?
Mata was yoga.
Bauma Helile.
Gamte. Chipang Palipanaga.
Olugan na Luma tire. We was on a yoshi, na Quanade,
na de. Ta one kwa young kwa doing how one will produce. Ugan cards were always young man tackle. One Mahina Yoshi. Oh, Sanga. So now you might have been the Nama Mata. So Nahamba Shikumayamde was Zamyo Bemdega.
Okay, that one. Sorry for the mix-up. There were actually other persons who also gave their advice about that. Now, from that one, from that particular guy, doctor, you heard him and you saw him by yourself.
Yeah.
He said there was nothing wrong with him. He used to be a smoker, but he didn't get any benefit from it, and not like he was actually sick. He just decided to quit smoking.
Yeah.
What will you say about that?
Yes. Thank you very much for that question. It's a general perception of the public that, look, we've been smoking, nothing has happened. But again, we've studied cancer, lung cancer in particular, and if you read the books, they say it's an indolent cancer. Indolent means that it begins very gradual. In fact, let me put it in simple, the incubation time, I would say, is between 10 and 30 years.
Wow.
It's developing. It won't give you any sign. So a lot of them will say nothing happened, but something indeed was. That is why the average age of occurrence of cancer is above the lung cancer. It's above the 50s, 60s and 70s. That's when you commonly find it in people. It is in only 2% of the lung cancer population that you find them below the age of 40. Only 2%. And that means that in such people, it will be the non-smokers' lung cancer, meaning that it was triggered by factors other than smoking.
Wow.
Like exposure to radiation, occupation. You are working in a mine, inhaling, or you live in a house where the ceiling is asbestos, exposure to asbestos, things like that. Or you live in an environment where you work in a paint manufacturing. These are what we call carcinogens. You are inhaling them. So other factors are there that actually cause risk factors for lung cancer. But smoking is seen in 90 to 95% of cases. Lung cancer is related or associated with smoking. Yeah. So nothing happened is not really true. For us who are forensic pathologists, people have these things but die from other causes. You had a fall from a height. It's a forensic case. You are brought in for a forensic examination. We open up and we find that cancer was developing in your lungs. So you just didn't live long enough to come down with the symptoms of lung cancer. You thought nothing happened with your smoking. So some things in most cases
Something
were
is
happening.
actually happening.
Yeah.
Now let's move on to the symptoms. How do you know someone is coming down with cancer?
Of the lungs.
Especially, yes, cancer of the lungs.
Yeah, there are symptoms when it has taken its time to develop gradually over the set period I said.
10 to 30 years. Wow.
You begin to feel breathless, shortness of breath gradually. That won't even start suddenly very severe. You begin to feel it. You begin to feel a kind of chest pain. You know. Yeah. Then you may begin to have weight loss. You know. You may begin to have some kind of anemia. These are related matters to cancer generally. But when it's of the lungs, prominently, that chest pain and breathlessness, difficulty in breathing. These are then cough that is not being explainable. You know, you are coughing, it's not productive, or when it's productive, you see blood-stained cough. These are signs that.
Now, what should people do when they notice things like this? Okay, before the smokers themselves, before people who work in such places, there are a group of people who like to inhale smoke, secondhand smoking. Yes, they are not the ones smoking. They tell you, I actually don't smoke, but I just like to perceive or inhale the smoke.
Not just liking to
smokers.
perceive.
Yes.
If you are friends with people who smoke, you move around, they are smoking. That's called passive. You are now a passive smoker, not an active smoker. You know, you are also at risk, just like the person who is smoking. So, it is also strongly advised that you stay away from smokers.
Now they say don't give a dog meat to watch after. One day you actually grab the smoke by yourself, and they say
peer influence.
One person danced, they sprayed the person, the other danced and was
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
you might just be the one to.
The man who was smoking, your friend who was smoking, you may not have come down with lung cancer. You who is his friend will not come down with lung cancer.
Also,
when they ask you, you say, no, you don't
underlining-
smoke. No, you don't smoke. No, you don't smoke. It's my friend that smokes. Meanwhile, you are
Call those underlining the
exactly
genetic.
genetic predisposition.
Okay, now let's look at the issues around how can these people be helped? Where can they get cure? Is there a first aid to be given? Is it a death sentence?
In a study I came across, I think in 2018, cancer of the lungs accounted for 14% of all cancers. You know, there are different types of cancers. Put all cancers together, cancer of the lung accounted for 14%
14. Well, that's a high number.
of all cancers. But look at the most interesting part. Then for cancer-related deaths, cancer of the lungs accounted for 28% of cancer-related deaths. That means cancer of the lungs is killing more than other cancers.
We have a caller. Just a minute. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Talk Health on Benue Television.
Thank you.
Good. Your name?
Yes, I am enjoying the discussion about the cancer of the lung.
Thank you very much. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Usute, I'm calling from North Bank.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Tay.
Okay. So, I want to ask the doctor this question.
Good, go ahead.
Okay. Those that use firewood in cooking, the smoke that comes out of that firewood, is it possible for that smoke to cause them the cancer?
Did you get that?
Yes, interesting question. Thank you very much. Yeah, because the question
Thank
is
you.
quite genuine.
Yeah.
That is also smoke.
Exactly.
Yes. The straight answer is yes, it is capable of causing lung cancer because it will cause that chronic irritation of the lung tissue. In fact, the lining of the lung, we call it in our own terms, is squamous cells. So chronic irritation of by smoke of that tissue we can translate into development of lung cancer. However, the things that cause cancer, the actual active substance that will cause the cancer, we call them carcinogens. Now in cigarettes, there are much more carcinogens in cigarettes than in the firewood that you burn to cook. So the rate at which smoking of cigarettes will cause cancer is far more than the rate at which the smoke from the cooking firewood will cause cancer. I hope I've answered.
Yeah, very well. So they all need to be more careful. We're still looking at the signs. I mean, how they can get help. And we talked about, asked you if it is a death sentence. Can people be cured from cancer of the lungs? We were trying to say that before we had our first caller on the show.
Yeah. Generally, for cancers, early diagnosis is key. So it includes lung cancer. And I was trying to tell you how much more cancer of the lung kills than other cancers.
Yes.
It accounts for 14% of total number of cancers, but accounts for as much as 28 death rates from cancer, meaning that it kills more than other cancers. However, with early detection, cure is achievable. But the problem there is that how well can you do early detection in lung cancer? We have established on this talk show that it's an indolent cancer. It grows very gradually, and in the early growing phase is not symptomatic, doesn't show any sign. By the time you start having difficulty in breathing, or you start having chest pain, or you start coughing, the cancer is well established. But for the early diagnosed by grace, we don't have a very good health-seeking behavior. So when you start having small, we don't present to the hospital.
Yeah, wait till.
We've seen cases where, by resection, if it happens that the cancer type, there are also types. This also depends on the type. We find that it's localized in one particular lobe of the lung. It can be resected. That means that lobe of the lung can be removed.
Have we had any issue of lung cancer at the teaching hospital?
Yeah, sure. Many.
Okay.
I lost a friend to lung cancer, very close friend to me. And also less than 40, a non-smoker. Yeah. Diagnosis initially was a challenge because he wasn't expected to be seen at his age. But we lost him. But the treatment modalities, surgical resection, if it is found to be localized, and then there's chemotherapy. There are drugs. These are drugs that are given. There is radiotherapy, but the treatment is not like malaria treatment, where you know that when you give treatment you get answers. In many cases, you treat and prolong life, but eventually you don't get to keep them.
Thank you. Now, you can actually call us. Let us know what you think about lung cancer. If you have more questions for the doctor, he's here. He's ready and willing to answer you. Thank you very much, our first caller on the show today, all the way from North Bank, for calling in on Talk Health. Your question has brought an answer to a lot of other people's questions. The number to call will be 0813 200-9411. Again, the number to call to be a part of the show this morning is 0813 200-9411. And you can also follow us on all our social media platforms at benuetv.ng. It is Talk Health, and we're taking a look at a situation here, lung cancer. It's not very far away anymore. It's right here in the state. What are you doing? What will you do to get yourself saved from that menace? Now, doctor, let's look at options for lung cancer screening.
Well, lung cancer screening. Frankly,
Since you made mention that diagnoses are not easy because
Yes.
it's hidden.
yeah.
It doesn't show
Lung
itself
cancer
easily.
screening, if I will answer that question, would be prevention.
Good. Now tell us about prevention.
Prevention. Don't smoke. Don't start smoking at all. If you've been smoking, stop smoking. And if you have friends that smoke, don't go near them when they are smoking. And then if you have any form of discomfort in your chest, you go for checkup. There is no common easy screening modality like you screen for cervical cancer, prostate cancer, breast cancer. The machinery or the tool for diagnosis usually is a chest CT scan, which is not commonly available. Where it is available, it is expensive. While you can pick it up, you can pick up lung cancer via a simple X-ray, but that is when it is well established. To say you are detecting an early form of or stage of cancer, lung cancer, will be a chest CT or a biopsy. But you see, a biopsy is an invasive procedure where people don't want to just go in and take your tissue and bring it out. So usually, lung cancer screening is not a routine procedure. The best form of screening or prevention would be for the best form of what we look at as form of screening is to prevent.
Okay.
Like we said, stop smoking, stay away from smoke, and stay away from certain chemicals that are inhalable. Like herbicides. When you are using them, or you work in a place where painting is done, like those who repaint cars, it's by spray. You use your proper protective equipment, like your face masks, and that. If you have to use herbicides on the farm, you wear your face mask properly. Anywhere you have to use chemicals that are being aerosolized, you need to protect by wearing your face mask.
When you say
Always.
aerosolized,
Well,
What do you
when
mean?
you spray, they get into the air and fly into the that's aerosol, becomes aerosol into the so that you can inhale.
okay.
The tiny particles as you are spraying get into the air, and you are
Come back to you.
come back to you, and you are breathing them into, and as you breathe, they go straight into the lungs, and with continuous inhalation and accumulation, they cause that irritation which we are talking about, and eventually some of them actually have capacity to actually trigger the genetic at the genetic level to kickstart the process of cancer formation.
Okay.
So these are preventive.
It's still beautiful talking with you and very educative, I must say. I bet you're having a beautiful time on Talk Health today, our very first production with our phone in. Thank you to our first caller on the show. You can also call in to be a part of the show. The number to call is 0813-200-9411. Again, the number to call is 0813-200-9411. And follow us on all our social media platforms at benwaytv.ng. Follow the conversation, drop in your comments, let us know what you think about cancer of the lungs. We'll take another quick break. When we return, we'll bring you health tips. Feels good to have you back. It is Talk Health on Benue Television. We're taking a look at cancer of the lungs. We've talked about the risk factors, the symptoms. It doesn't actually show immediately. Diagnosis can not be easily, it cannot be easily detected, but you need to quit smoking. We'll bring you health tips as the show continues. Don't go anywhere.
Here are health tips for you, according to health experts. Do not smoke or use tobacco products. Tobacco use is a leading cause of lung cancer. Quitting smoking and avoiding exposure to secondhand smoke can significantly reduce the risk. Number 2, eat a healthy diet. A diet rich in fruits, vegetables, and whole grains may help reduce lung cancer risk. Number 3, exercise regularly. Regular physical activity may help reduce lung cancer risk and improve overall health. Get vaccinated against HPV, the human papilloma virus. Is linked to lung cancer, and getting vaccinated can help reduce risk. Number 4, get screened for lung cancer. If you are a heavy smoker or have a high risk of lung cancer, talk to your doctor about screening options like CT scans or chest x-rays. Number 5, avoid exposure to air pollution. Avoid heavily polluted areas and take steps to reduce indoor air pollution. Number 6, manage stress. Chronic stress may weaken your immune system and increase cancer risk. Engage in stress-reducing activities like meditation or yoga. Get enough sleep, the last one. Adequate sleep is essential for overall health, including cancer prevention. Aim for 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night. Finally, if you have concerns about lung cancer or any other health issue, consult a health professional. Thank you.
Fine. Thank you very much. That was just awesome. Look at that, number 5, avoid stress. Stress has a whole lot concerning this. Just tell us a little bit about that before you give us your parting words.
Well, stress is related to almost all forms of disease, and there's a common thing that is related to that stress does. Releases toxic substances. They are free radicals, and these are oxidants. Wherever these oxidants, whenever they are in the body, they are released in the body from stress or from other factors. As they are moving in the bloodstream, they are looking for any form of defect. They are causing defects, but where there is a defect already, they go there and even worsen it. So that lung cancer is not out of it. When there is that chronic irritation by these carcinogens and stress is added to it, free radicals are released. They bind to those sites where already there is about to be a problem, and then actually trigger a process that begins.
Now, we could actually go on and on, but for want of time, let's take a look at what you want my viewer to know. Like, what is the most important thing someone will take home today about lung cancer?
Well, that I would say it is important to know that lung cancer exists. It is common in our environment, and is a disease mostly of lifestyle. So when you modify your lifestyle, like quitting smoking, staying away from smokers, guarding against your occupational exposure to some of these things we've mentioned, you are on the way to being sure that you will not come down with cancer. So this is a take-home message I think that we take from this discussion. Lung cancer is real. It is preventable to a large extent. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Moses Agua, Chairman, Center for Cancer Care.
Committee on
Cancer Care.
Anyway.
Okay, good. It's been beautiful talking with you. Thank you for your wealth of knowledge. Thank you for sharing your experiences with us as well. We hope to have you again on Talk Health.
No problem.
Yes, we'll
No
look
problem.
at that
Always.
forensic pathology in depth.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes.
I'll be glad to share that.
Okay. That's the much time has permitted us to go or to come this far on Talk Health on Benue Television. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Thank you for watching us live. Thank you for liking, for sharing your comments. Thank you, Msute, all the way from North Bank, for calling. I hope next week we'll have more calls as the show progresses. We'll come back again, bigger and better next week with another interesting episode. My take home from here: quit smoking, just quit it. And anything that has bad something, negative effects to your health, just quit it. So we have a healthy society, we'll have a healthy you, and a more productive you as well. I remain your anchor, your presenter, Iwange Baja. Have a beautiful and a healthy week ahead. Bye for now.
Hi.